are at the Seat at the Table event put on by Tim Mackey and Vista Consulting. We're with Rob Bordonaro out of Cleveland. Tell us, Rob, tell us more about your business really quickly for an intro, and then would love to know what you're doing here.
Yeah, Nager Romaine Schneiberg is a firm I work for. We're the largest workers' comp firm in Ohio. We have 6 different offices, 144 folks who work for us, 45 attorneys. We cover all 88 counties, and been in business since 2001.
Okay.
Private equity guys love you.
Yeah, I think, well, I've had a lot of conversations with a few of them just to try to figure out how this whole MSO thing is working out and sort of playing out. I know it's a new thing, and I'm trying to be educated on it, and that's why I'm spending time here the last couple of days.
What's your overall take? Good, bad, good for the industry, bad for the industry, good for you?
Well, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not able to own a firm.
So very good for you.
Well, possibly, but I look at it for our firm and see how it could be advantageous for our firm. And I think if there's opportunity and it makes sense, might be able to grow that way. Mm-hmm. Certainly the 2 managing partners I work closely with, great guys, super sharp, strategic thinkers, everything, wanted me here to try to figure out also from like a succession planning perspective, how would they maybe be able to leverage this kind of MSO sort of structure to maybe help in that regard too, from a longer term strategy perspective, looking at it that way. So I'm trying to keep a view of, how is it good for the firm, number one, and then how can we grow and get better based on that.
That's awesome. One of the things that has kind of been a learning experience for us is because of the Dudley DeBosier deal, it's really been on the scene, right?
Yeah.
Is this newish for you, or has this been on your radar for some time?
No, this is newish. This is new for us. I've spent my career in Fortune 50 companies and a lot of banking. I worked at the Cleveland Clinic for a while. I've done all kinds of stuff. So I've taken a lot of what I've learned to try to bring it to our smaller firm. Or big firm, but smaller business than I'm used to. But it seems to make a ton of sense. You look at the industry, and I came in to help Nager Romaine Schneiberg as a consultant at first, just for a few days a week, and I knew the managing partners a long time before that, and felt like if we had an opportunity where I could help them, try to figure out some of the business structure and trying to create some of the processes that they didn't have, I'd stick around, and it ended up that there was a lot that could be done. And so I see this for the legal industry, and I think the legal industry, not to be negative, but is like years behind in terms of some of the business, the corporate 500 kind of business sense and process and technology and all those different things. So, someone joked that we're still faxing things.
Right.
And I can't imagine, any other.
We can.
I can't imagine any other Fortune 500 company saying they're faxing stuff still.
So this is a bit of a tangent, but I'm super fascinated with this. One of the things I'm starting, and it's not a statistical pattern because I don't have enough examples, but I'm starting to see more and more examples of the most successful law firms reaching well outside both in terms of industry and size to bring people in. John Knockhazel, who does Fireproof with Mike Morris, is kind of the prototypical example of this. But we're starting to see more people come from outside legal and be like, I can clean this up.
Yeah.
Right? Do you agree with that?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Again, just from my experience with my 4 years working for Nager Romaine Schneiberg, there were a lot of, low-hanging fruit. Things that you could quickly find and see and make some change about. The culture was great, but we're still trying to improve the culture. So part of what we talk about is the client experience and the client journey. And so we're bringing on some software programs to try to help create more communication with our clients, because whether it's the legal industry or the banking industry, which I was in for 15 years, or the medical industry that I was in, communication is always one of the biggest challenges with clients. So, so I think if you're able to bring a lot of business sense to the firm, the industry, outside of third-party view kind of thing, And I look at it always like as a consultant. My job every day, I look as a consultant and try to improve our team just a little bit every single day. But you find those big wins too pretty quickly.
Right.
We're changing our internet right now as we speak, I think today in some of our locations, and we're able to save a lot of money.
Right. I don't know that you can answer this, but have you also seen that on the marketing side? The legal industry by and large tends to grow people into these big marketing roles, right? And those people aren't always necessarily able to grow with the firm or qualified to do it, and it's not their fault. They just they don't have the experience. They don't have, they haven't coaching. They don't have training. They're expected to do it on their own. Are you seeing this on the CMO kind of level as well?
Well, we don't have a CMO. We have some folks who help us with marketing, sort of third party again. But I do see that in a lot of the management that, again, it's not just in this industry, it's most industries. You're good at your job.
Right.
And you're here for 10 years and then you become a manager. And there's probably not a lot of education in terms of how to be a good leader.
Right.
So you can manage people or you can lead people. And
right.
So I always talk about being a good leader versus trying to manage tasks. You lead people, you lead vision, you lead strategy, you manage tasks. So I do see that, but I think that's just across most industries, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and to the point that we all kind of talked about earlier, you imagine there's going to be a massive influx if there's opportunity to own equity in some of these firms, right? I mean, I'm sure there's all sorts of people that are very sophisticated, highly skilled. They're like, hey, this legal thing sounds like a great place to get involved in.
Yeah, I just see the economies of scale just being outrageously huge. If you're able to take and look at one firm and look at their best practices, say 5 or 6 of the practices that we brought in or systems or software platforms, whatever, and then look at the other 4 or 5 firms that you buy, just do that again and again and again versus spending the time, effort, and money to try to figure it out. And then you have one system across, 300 people versus 5 different systems across, 60 people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if this is under your purview at the firm, but it's Lunch Hour Legal Marketing, so we're always talking about marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Can you share anything about how you kind of view diversification of marketing channels? Like, what are your main investments in marketing? Yeah,
well, we've changed focus quite a bit. Right or wrong, I think it's worked pretty well for us to do.
Then it's right. I'm serious. It doesn't matter.
Well, I think, there's 2 different schools of thought. So referral-based marketing is really what we're trying to work on. So we are talking to a lot of players. Players come to us, from outside the market and who are, big marketing firms, and they don't have a presence in Ohio, and they need somebody who's a stable and solid firm to work for them or work with them, and we partner with those guys. And we are able to show that over years of partnering with us, it's going to be advantageous for them. So we're not the ones who are doing pay-per-click or doing billboards, but we certainly are working with folks who are doing that.
Right.
And we love that partnership. And as long as we take care of their clients, as best we can, and that's a high priority for us. And I think that keeps the relationship strong. And communication between the referrals, the referrers.
And then just a follow-up on that. So for your clients, do you do a lot to nurture the relationship after representation? Like, do you have email lists or?
We do. We probably need to do more, quite frankly. Yeah, we do some of that, but there's opportunity for us to do more.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
So you're building legal referral relationships.
Yes.
What's your marketing channels to make that happen? Is it networking events? Is it LinkedIn?
Yes.
Is it yes, and yes?
Yes, and
what are all the yeses?
So actually today, OAJ is going on in Columbus, and so that's where the 2 managing partners and probably another 10 or 12 of our attorneys are there. So there'll be vendors there, and there'll be other partners there, other attorneys. Who, quite frankly, don't want to do workers' comp, for example, and have a really good PI business, or we have partners that we don't do med-mal, but we'll partner, we'll send that out, or Social Security, that's not our bread and butter, but we have a really great partner that we use and work on Social Security. So yeah, it's just everything really. We're trying to just leverage everything we can, and we have conversations with folks and make sure we vet them, they vet us, and as long as the culture sort of match, it's a good partnership. We start slow probably, and then you can pretty much tell if someone's going to be a valued partner, and we work strong to make sure that they know we will.
So you've described a lot of what feels like very human, time-consuming efforts, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I want LinkedIn to be a big part of this. I'm not getting the feel that it is for you guys.
We're doing more and more with LinkedIn. We have our chief human resource officer who's working through LinkedIn quite a bit to try to build relationships. She does a great job, and we actually started to do a little bit more of a program with LinkedIn. Actually, it's more of a consulting program. I think it's a 6-month deal for us or for them, and so we are trying to utilize that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask this question, but I might have answered because you're leaning into the referrals. But are there any conversations at the firm about branching into other practice areas, or are you guys very committed to sticking with comp?
Comp and PI.
PI too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're comp and PI, so probably 80% comp, 20% PI. But again, the doctors, we have great relationships with them and other attorneys throughout the state, and so we again try to foster some of that. We're going to have a golf tournament soon. Have some docs come to that. Hopefully, some new prospects or folks that we might be able to partner with. We'll do anything and everything to try to make sure we have good partnerships.
Yeah, and I want to ask you to speak on behalf of the entire Ohio legal profession or state legislature, but an issue that comes up a lot.
Come on.
And I won't be able to.
I was just curious, just even anecdotally, like if the conversations in your area, if people are like, this MSO thing, is this an interesting thing? Or if you had a lot of conversations where like the old guild's very resistant to it?
I have not had many of those conversations, so I can't tell you, but I wouldn't, if folks are looking, or if they're strategic enough and forward thinking enough, I think they're going to see that this is a good idea. And this is something that you've seen in dental practices and accounting, you've seen in a lot of different industries. And I think the legal field and legal industry is right for this too. And it's going to be better for clients, quite frankly.
Okay, so that's one of the things that's come up repeatedly here.
Yeah.
Studies in the medical industry suggest the other. Like, certainly has not been good for patients. And so, philosophically, I'm very curious as to how the legal industry makes sure that they pull off, we put clients first, right? Like that's what we're really here for, and we're not just driving an IPO number that's as high as possible, right? That's a hard balance to pull off.
I think you're right. So I think the difference, though, might be, and I don't know because we haven't done it and I haven't really been involved too much with it, but if you are really building a barrier between your operations and the legal field, it's going to give our attorneys more time to have conversations with clients and less time to worry about the operations part of it. And if you're making operations more efficient and effective, then again, turnaround time for paperwork and in the process of Ohio Bureau of Workers' Comp, it's a process, and they want it to be a process, right? So we're fighting the good fight against these guys. We're advocates for our clients every day. And if our process is 12 weeks today, but we can skinny it up to 6 because of some technology or something that we can do based on having more resources through an MSO or whatever, I can only see it getting better.
Right.
So thank you so much for joining us today. If I'm a lawyer or other professional in Ohio and I'm looking to refer comp or personal injury cases, how can folks get a hold of you or your firm?
www.nrsinjurylaw.com, and you can get a hold of us.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity. Enjoyed it.
Awesome.